For the pledge, let's call the meeting to order. The pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, welcome to the meeting this morning. We have Steve and Dan and Chris, I believe, on the phone. I think there's anybody else on the phone, is there?
Yes, we can hear you. You're a little bit muffled, Bruce. If you could speak up a little bit louder, it would be good.
Okay, Dan. Okay, we'll take a look at the agenda. Any additions, Kathy?
Mr. Chair, I do have, it's not an addition, but for the property tax request, Tyler will be presenting that around 10:15 this morning.
Okay.
And then I do also have an addition for the Building and Grounds Department. Wayne Drew will be presenting an addition to the ductwork cleaning project that's going on, and he will be presenting somewhere in there as well.
Okay, we'll just fit that in wherever we can, so,
yeah,
okay.
Somewhere around 10 or 10:15, so.
Okay. Anything else?
That is all I had, Mr.
Okay.
Chair.
We need a motion to approve the agenda.
Mr. Chair, I have something to add on the
Okay,
consent agenda. Could you please add item number 5 to approve an auditor's warrant for this Friday for $300 to North Iowa K-9, and that is for the recertification of the 2 dogs, Sassy and Max. So that authorizes the chair to sign that for Friday, please.
okay, we have that addition. Steve has requested an auditor's warrant for $300 for item 5 under so, okay.
Move to approve the
Okay,
agenda.
Les made a motion to approve.
Second.
Luke seconded.
Second, Chris.
Luke seconded it, so,
Okay.
okay, any other discussion about the agenda? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay. Then, what about the consent agenda?
Sure, I'd move the consent agenda.
Luke made a motion to approve.
Second, Chris.
Chris seconded. Any other discussion about the consent agenda? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed?
Aye.
Okay, that's okay. And we have Nick. There's some maintenance information.
All right. Morning.
Morning.
First up for me today would be the introduction of Colin Clipper. He's our new maintenance superintendent. He's taken over for Doug Nagel. Doug's doing the phased retirement option, and Colin's been with us for about a year now. Has lots of background in mechanics and good addition to our crew. So this is Colin.
Welcome.
Morning, welcome.
Howdy.
All right. Anybody have any questions for him or? No?
No, at this time.
No, sounds good. You'll be
Thanks for coming in.
you'll be seeing him around then. So
Good. Is he taking over some of Doug's duties already, or
yeah, they're
working together at this
yep,
point?
they're working together now on transition. So
Okay,
yep.
good.
Great. All right. Moving on for me, we have some project updates. First update is on page 2 is our County Road 13 widening job. Grinding of the blacktop is complete, and the dirt work is pretty much complete. They'll have to do some touch-up later after the pavement, but that's substantially complete. Indian Lakes Trail, that road has been widened out. Sidewalk has been installed. They're gonna put the curb and gutter in tomorrow, but with all that rain, I don't know if that's gonna happen anymore, but, those two are moving along quite well. Last we heard, they were looking at July 22nd for moving into paving plant, so end of July, beginning of August. You know, I would think by the middle of August, that should all of our work, all of our paving should be done, so that'll be great, so. Then on the last page, our third contract for the year of box culverts, gets left this morning at 10:30, so. All right, next item for me would be, reviewing the 5-year construction plan. This is a challenging year to do this because we're being told that we're probably going to see a reduction, but we don't know how much. Part of me has hope that they will at least try to restock, if you will, that funds expected, like maybe instead of a bunch of bonding projects, maybe they'll do something like that to at least get us back up to where we were. You know, we have wheelage tax now, we could maybe try to help some of that shortfall with, so I actually put this 5-year plan together like we weren't gonna lose any funding. Part of that also is if some federal money or something comes through and we've got a project what they call shovel ready, maybe we could beat everybody else out the gate on it, you know, and access some of that. So another thing that's working in our favor here is we have a really expensive, really large grading project in, I think it's 2022, that could be slid back to off, you know, so if our funding does come up short, we can slide that back a year to help with that. So that's why I put it together the way I did. Might be wrong, I don't know, but I had to take, you know, had to pick something, and that's what I picked and why, so.
What else can you do in a year like this?
Correct. Yep, so, that being said, you know, a lot of things change, so instead of just highlighting the changes, I thought it'd be easier if I just went through the whole thing, year by year. That being said, here we go. For 2020, we currently have 2 road projects going on. The County Road 13 widening and then the paving around Indian Lakes Trail and then our County State Aid Highway 30. We have a seal coat project going to be starting up in a couple weeks here, but that'll probably only be about 3 days worth of work, so that'll be quick. Bridges, we have a number of bridges on for this year. The red dots are ones that have been completed already. The blue ones are ones that are scheduled and on the bonding list, but at this point, I don't think are gonna get funded. They're still out there. The one by Holland is right towards the top of the bonding list, but I kinda have my doubts if we're gonna get any of that money, so. And the rest of them are either out for bid or under contract, so. Moving on to 2021, we have a number of overlays scheduled. County Road 3 from 18 to Murray County, County Road 15 from 1 to 2, County Road 16 from 10 to Lincoln County, and then County Road 56 from 2 to Pipestone. And if those culverts on that road get delayed, I want to delay that overlay. I don't want to cut a hole in a brand new road like that. So I think that'll likely be overlaid too. Maybe we'll slide something up out of the next year to take its place. Culverts for next year. There's a number of them up by Altona Township. One kind of west of Holland there. That's on that road we just swapped with the township. So. Then there's 2 by Island. One on County Road 2 just west of town. And then one on County Road 20 going to the state park. Those will be very expensive bridges. The one west of town is ballpark $500,000, and the one going to the state park will be a little over $1 million. With that one, that is a very unique segment of road. it actually qualifies for what the state calls state park funds. I think the state gets about $4 million every year, or the DNR gets that out of the state allotment to spend on roads like this. So I'm gonna apply for state park funds on that, and I'm gonna apply for the whole thing, and hopefully they'll cover the whole thing. I would imagine I'll find out more of our odds, you know, if you apply for a year or two, but that might be a good one to just sit and wait until we can get a bunch of those funds, so it's not coming out of our allotment, so, that's my plan with that one, I guess, so.
They ever decide anything on the Stone Bridge yet, or?
Nope, that would, my understanding of Dave's vision on that one was they put the money into doing the plans for it and everything. Eventually, they'll likely find the money to do the work, because
Right.
it would cost us just way too much to pay for that ourselves, so.
Right.
2022, there'll be another seal coat project, and then we have scheduled County Road 10 for reconstruction. That'd be from 16 over to 23. I'm gonna really roughly ballpark, that'd be a $3 million job, and that'd be the one we'd, you know, if funding comes up that short, delay that a little bit to keep the other program up to speed, you know, with the overlays and such, so. Also in 2022, there's a lot of blacktop work that needs to be done pretty bad. Some of this might be slid up if we delayed that grading job. We'll see, but as of right now, some roads identified there would be County Road 1 from 23 to 75, County Road 2 from 23 to 75, County Road 6 from 23 to 18, County Road 7 from 18 to Murray County, County Road 8 from Highway 75 over to Holland, County Road 9 in Edgerton, County Road 12 from Highway 23 to the East County line, that's the one northeast of Ruthven. County Road 16 from Hatfield to 30. County Road 23 from Cleveland Street to 18, that's in Ruthven. Then we have a straight county road, which is 54, runs through Island. That's not a state aid route, so that'd be like, we'd probably use our wheelage tax money for that. Either that or, you know, in the past, it would have been, we would have had to levy for it, but now this, it won't affect the levy because we'll use wheelage tax for that.
That stretch isn't even a half-mile long, is it?
No, it's pretty short and pretty narrow, but still, when you're paying for it
Yeah,
with levy
dollars
funds,
up quick.
it adds up quick, yeah. And then there's County Road 92 in Ruthven. That would be the same thing as 54 in Island. That would be a wheelage tax road. We use that. There's a number of box culverts that year. See, there's 3 of them up by Ruthven, and then another 3. The one right by Holland, one kind of north of Pipestone, one by Veterans Park, and then there's another one on our County Road 25. But that would just be an extension, so it's wide enough for the regrade on 25. 2023. We have scheduled the reconstruction of our County State Highway 25 from about the John Deere corner down to Highway 30. We get a lot of traffic on that. We dust control it every year because of all the traffic. And
Are you thinking concrete for that, or?
I don't know yet. Prices fluctuate so much in that market. We'll probably want to wait until we get to, you know, a year or 2 out or something like that, and then you'd see better where those are at, because if bituminous goes really cheap or if it goes really expensive, you know, that would make a difference. And the design is really kind of completely different, really, because it affects, you know, the deeper you go on your road part, the more material you have on the side. So it's not just as simple as the bid alternate isn't that simple. Just change the surfacing, you know, it changes all the grading and everything too. So. But, you know, we'll explore both options, so. Overlays, we have County Road 10 scheduled from South Dakota to 75, and County Road 16 from Holland up to County Road 10. Box culverts for that year are pretty much all in the southern half of the county. There's 2 on our County Road 15, and then 2 more by Island. One of them would be a county project, and the other would be a township project, Sweet Township. And then we have 3 culverts scheduled on our County Road 18. 2024, so this would be the last year of the 5-year plan. I put some work in on County Road 17. This is a road that comes up from time to time. People have complained about soft spots and dust on that road. They'd ultimately like it paved. A number of years ago on our County Road 15, south of town, we ran tile down the middle of it, 6 inches of gravel, and it was a huge improvement on that road. It was fantastic. So I would like to do that to County Road 17. I'd like to tile it, put 6 inches of gravel on it, and I think I'd like to add a strength additive that we've been using the last couple of years. It's called Base 1. It makes the gravel a lot tougher. And that salesman has also told me, of course, the salesman, but that it works very, very well with calcium chloride, the dust control. Seems to, I kind of got the feeling he was trying to tell me it lasts longer that way and does a better job, so it very well could be. So, the people putting that down, it would probably work better for them. I talked to one of the gravel pit owners along there, and he expects to be operating out of his pit on that road for another 40-plus years. So I think it's worth the investment. It's probably going to be somewhere around $1 million job to do this, and then the next question will be, well, how much will pavement be? And that'd probably be another $1.5 million if we went that route someday. But for right now, this would be a good step to take with the gravel improvements there.
You think that would be about $1.5 million in addition to the million?
Yeah, I'm guessing right now, granted, prices can do anything. $1 million to do this gravel and probably another $1.5 million to pave, so probably be $2.5
Well, it
million.
is pretty wide already. I don't know if what.
Yep. And our gravel would be, we'd do it in a manner to where we didn't rule out pavement in the future. We wouldn't narrow it up so far that we couldn't pave it anymore, so.
But the tile part could stay under there if you did pave it.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, there's some soft spots in it now, and I think that just comes from it's a gravel road and it's so wide,
A
so.
lot of traffic on that road and
Correct.
a lot of truck traffic. And
Yep.
it gets beat up pretty good with.
Yep, and this will help quite a bit, so. We have a number of box culverts scheduled for that year as well. 3 of them up in Altona Township. One of them is the one that, if you recall, there was a resident in a while ago, had some drainage issues up there, and then there was a ditch that there's no buffer on, and it's been getting full of dirt, and it's, I don't know if you want to say plugging up another bridge, but that's the bridge we're going to replace, so. Then there's another one of those box culverts is right by Hatfield, and then 2 more halfway to Edgerton then, so that's what I'm proposing for right now. Anybody have any questions on this?
Looks good.
Okay. Well, I forgot to look back. Do you take official action on approving that? Do you remember in the past?
I think we made,
I think you do. I didn't.
Hurt to.
I'd make that motion.
Okay, Luke made a motion to approve the 5-year plan.
Second.
Les seconded. Any other discussion? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed?
Aye.
Okay, motion passes.
All right. Moving forward, just some quick maintenance updates for you. Looks like we're Total federal and state funding from the flooding last year is gonna be about $263,000. Likewise, last month, we've been working on some soft spots, started spraying, roadside shoulder mowing, and working on some patchwork around the county. We patched our seal coat roads ahead of that, so hopefully that helps. It's nice to get that done, I guess, before a seal coat, so. Outside of that, the only other thing I have would be the bid opening at 10:30, so.
Okay. Nick, I know you don't have anything to do with Highway 75, but there's potholes in there now that are, if you have a car with small wheels or a motorcycle, that you could, between Highway 9 and Pipestone, there's a lot of them. I don't know, is there anybody we can, do they ever look at that? Do you know, I mean, do they check that kind of stuff? The state
I don't know what their program is for that, but I could certainly reach out to them and
complain to them that we've got a problem? It's almost a safety thing, some of those areas, I mean, that,
sure, I could say it's a request from the board or something like that that they,
well, I don't, I mean, well, I realize it's not your responsibility to take care of it, but,
no, I certainly can, no.
there's some areas that need attention, and
Yeah.
every time you get rain, it
Fills them up.
mud puddles and and moisture gets under the overlay and stuff, so. But I don't know if there's anybody you know over there, or know at the state, you give them just give them a email or something, or a text or something, and
Yep, that's what I'll do. I will contact them.
thank you.
Yep, no problem.
Have you heard on the 75 bridge replacement, is Fourth gonna be closed during that, or?
I haven't heard. I'm guessing it'll probably, I don't know. I haven't heard, but I can see where it would fluctuate throughout the project. Like,
Right.
to me, if there's nothing happening right there, people are gonna scream so much that they just don't wanna deal with it and they open it.
Right.
But there's gonna be times when the crane's gonna be set up there and it's gonna have to be closed.
Sure.
But, you know, I don't really know how it was required to stage that. I mean, maybe they'll just pile a bunch of materials there and it'll be blocked that way. I don't know, to be
Yeah.
honest with you, so. So, yeah, I guess that's how little I know on it, but.
Okay,
And then all that being said, you know, plans change too,
right.
how they do things, so. Okay, well, outside of that, anybody have any questions for me? Otherwise, that's it for me until 10:30.
All right, thanks, Nick.
All right,
Thank you.
sounds good.
We're a little bit ahead of schedule. Jason is here. I don't know, are you prepared for your report, or do you want to wait till 9:30?
I can shoot now.
If you want to come forward, might as well get started. You'll have a little more time to
Okay.
make your report, so.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Jason?
So I'm here to do my annual spiel for our audit, and it is 55 pages long, and trust me, I will not go through every page. I'll try to condense it in the short version, and then I'll highlight some of the activities that we've done in the last year. Okay, so I'm Jason Overby. I'm the general manager of Lincoln Pipestone Rural Water System. Here to present the audit. The audit was prepared by Abdo, Ike, and Myers out of Mankato. This is our third year of doing that with them. We are now looking at whether or not we're going to renew or put up for bid, but they have done a wonderful job for us. We have, my staff member had sent out to all the counties an electronic version, and if you had an opportunity to see that or view it at all?
I don't recall getting one.
Okay. Well, then I'm going to shoot from the hip on this one. So I should have probably verified here whether or not you'd received it. Nothing?
I don't know, Steve may have gotten it, let me just look here.
Okay.
I can try to put it on the screen if I can find it here.
Okay. Well, how about this? How about I dive into the activities while we'll flip-flop. Okay. So the fun stuff. In 2019, Lincoln Pipestone hooked up one municipality this year, and it happened to be in Pipestone County with the city of Edgerton. So they're taking half their allocation from us, or up to half their allocation from us. So we look forward to a good relationship with the community. We also hooked up 40 new rural customers in the system. That is, I would have to say that's probably the norm now for the last 5 years, 40 to 60 customers each year. Last year was down. We had a lot more precip, and I think that's where the fluctuation will occur, the relationship. Of those 40 new, they have comprised 27 residential hookups, 10 livestock hookups, and 3 office buildings. In Pipestone County specific, we had 3 new customers, 2 of which have indicated they are assessed to the county tax rolls. We have a number of capital improvement projects that are going on. We've completed, so we have one set that's considered the priority 2 phase, which is involving 5 projects. 3 of those projects are essentially done. The connection with Lewis and Clark, we've got 2 connections with them at Magnolia. That's a shared one with Rock County Rural Water. That water goes up to our pump station by Edgerton. Then the other one came online last year near the community of Adrian. So when we have 2, and we can reroute water each way, it makes a great management operational flexibility, keep everybody in service. So that is done. We receive, well, pretty much since the outlet, we are allocated 1.1 million gallons from Lewis and Clark, and we've pretty much have been maxing that out. In fact, it's sometimes this month or in June, we've actually gone past that. So there is available to exceed that, but we've been informed that better kind of watch it. So when those opportunities come with Lewis and Clark to expand, we'll probably look forward to taking those up. We also did a system-wide upgrade of our meters for our customers and the AMR units, which allow the customers to view their usage. Plus, we don't have to have these yellow cards anymore, and we've gone into the new century with that. That actually has been a big blessing for our customers. Instead of waiting 30 days to discover a leak, now they can see it within 24 hours. I've had a lot of positive response from that, so that's been a good decision to go through. We are finalizing and should have completed everything, including the punch list for our new pump station at Verdi. Our Verdi water source near the border with Lincoln County. It is our oldest. We've outgrown it. We have initially done some improvements at the well field. Now we've done improvements at the pump station, so a brand new pump station with now 1 million gallons of storage there. We had only 250,000 gallons of storage, so we have lots of storage. And now we've gone into the next phase, which is through the heart of our system, in the middle part and the oldest is we've got some problematic areas, northern Pipestone County, southern Lincoln, Murray, Lyon, some flow and pressure issues. So we just awarded a pipeline project to Winter Construction for about 12.5 miles of pipeline going from Tyler to Russell. It's a new 10-inch line, and that's going to feed that east central portion of our system. So that'll help out immensely. And we're also doing a major SCADA upgrade. So the monitoring system for all our facilities throughout towers, treatment plants, that's getting upgraded and bringing that into this century as well. So that's the priority 2, 5 projects. We're also looking at the North Water Source. We are experiencing a moratorium on the north end of our system. We have found a water source up by the Dawson-Boyd area. We've put 2 production wells in. We've pump tested them according to the state, the DNR. We did a 30-day pump test. That is now complete, and the data is being currently reviewed by our hydros and then eventually with the DNR. Things look positive. It's not a very shallow aquifer. I'll call it intermediate. It's not deep like our North Burr water source, maybe 100 to 200 feet deep. Pretty good quality water. It is a little hard, so it'll have to be treated, but it's a pretty large water source. So we look forward to continuing that. We're trying to pursue funding with the state and other means. So your letter that you wrote on behalf and support for us has helped. The powers that be at the state level have seen that with all our counties that have participated, so that's wonderful. Thank you very much for that. Outside of that, some of the smaller projects, we are wrapping up with the U of M, the Kernza projects. We have a Kernza plant site up there at our well field, similar to Edgerton. Ours happens to be an older variety. Edgerton's got a newer variety on that Clearwater Kernza. So we're wrapping that up. This will be our final season of that, and then we got to figure out what we're going to do with that. And outside of that, we've been so busy that we've actually added 2 new water operators to the system. In total, we've had 5 new employees come on board in 2019. So we've had a little personnel growth. One of the biggest maintenance items that we've dealt with was the rehabbing of the interior and exterior of the Chandler Tower. So that water source that comes up to Edgerton then leaves that site and it actually heads toward the Chandler Tower, south and east of the Chandler. And so that was a big undertaking. So that should last us another 20 plus years. So one thing to note, you'll be seeing in the future an invite to approve 3 commissioners that are up for reappointment. Their names are Janice Moen and Brent Fikema and Frank Engels. Janice and Frank are from the Lincoln County area and Yellow Medicine and portion of Lyon County, and Brent is over by southern Murray and northern Nobles County. So we have a rotation on that. Those 3 are coming up this year. So that's all I have for our activities. Do you have any questions on that?
When you mentioned the leaks, do you have very many typically?
You know, our leaks have gone down considerably. Couple of things that's probably the benefit that's happened on our end is we've incorporated more and more VFDs in variable frequency drives in our pumps, and that has allowed us better to manage pressures in the system. So I think our leaks have gone down. The ability to monitor has helped out too. We haven't been in a high demand period, although this June it was kind of pushing our limits there. Typically when we're in a high demand period, things start to happen. So far so good. We haven't had as many leaks. Last year we had very few leaks. So on an annual basis, maybe about 40 leaks a year or more. But you got to consider we have 3,400 miles of pipeline.
Right. And are those typically from aging equipment then, or?
In some cases it may be some of the oldest pipeline become more brittle, or what happens is back in the late 70s, early 80s, they used glued pipe, so those connections are failing. So now they use more gasketed pipe. So,
Okay.
Yeah, and hopefully our response time to them have been good. As far as outside of our abilities, we've got a lot of wind tower projects going on and a lot of fiber that's going on in Lincoln County. A lot. Apparently, there's about 40 crews. There's 8 companies with multiple crews, and we figured 40 crews. So for a while in June, we were battling about 3 leaks a week based on boring of fiber getting put in and hitting our pipeline. So that's been a little problem, and a lot of wind towers going up
They cover
all
the
over.
cost for that then?
They do, unless we have mismarked it. And that is very likely. Some of our old part of our system, it was not mapped. It was, if at best, it was drawn on a tablet, or it was designed this way by the engineers, but it was not put in that way. So nonetheless, we discover where it truly is, and then it is at our cost. So, yeah. Okay. No go?
We did not receive the handouts. I checked with Steve, so he said he requested them in June and never got them. We did have an email domain switch this last month, so I don't know if we have
Oh.
an email issue or not.
Okay.
But we never did receive it.
Well, I tell you what, I'll walk through it. It's a good report. I'll be very fast, but I'll make sure by today we'll get that to you. We'll contact you to make sure that we get the right email.
Okay,
So,
sounds good.
all right.
Jason, before you start, Jason, this is Dan Wildemuth. Water quality, how are you doing with your wells in regards to nitrates? Staying about the same or getting any better?
Yeah, very good question. So the water quality that is generated out of our Holland treatment plant has changed. Obviously, with the loss of the ROs, we're not being able to produce the really high quality water that we once did. So now we are back down to iron manganese removal as our only treatment there. So the hardness has increased. ROs definitely takes out some of the hardness. So the hardness has gone up. It's very comparable with our Verdi water source, which is roughly high teens, low 20s grains hard. So not overly high, but higher than what was generated from our Holland plant. And also, we've had some customers call in saying, "Hey, I got some discolored water." A couple of things there. We're still tweaking on how to get that iron that's sequestered into the water without RO. We're tweaking on the chemistry, leaving the plant, so we can adjust that and keep it into suspension so you don't see it coming out into the pipeline. And the other thing is, in June, we've had a lot of demand. There was some hot days, and we had a lot of demand. And with those leaks that you were referring to, that has essentially, the flows through there have kind of scoured out some of our pipes. So we asked our customers to just flush. It'll clear up. So some of the drawbacks of dealing with high demand period. So yeah, to answer your question, the water quality has changed a little bit. We do have the means of switching water sources back again. So our Verdi water source, we have the means of moving that down, well, we'll call it the western third of Pipestone County, almost all the way to Jasper. And we have a tank down right now getting maintained at Holland treatment plant, and we are now providing that western third with Verdi water. So it'll change. So Dan, did I answer your question?
Yes, you did. How about the Missouri River water you're getting in? Is that being treated then before it goes into the pipeline, or you treat it when it gets up here? How does that work?
Yep, good question. The water coming from Lewis and Clark, the source is groundwater underneath the Missouri River, so it's not surface water. I want to make sure that people understand that, because I think some think it's surface water coming out of the river, but it's not. It's groundwater. That gets treated at the plant at Vermilion. It's a lime softening plant, and then they put in chloramines as their disinfectant. It lasts longer because that water drop that comes out of the ground below the Missouri River is traveling a long ways, and it's right now we are the furthest. It can go all the way to the Chandler Tower, and then the customers leaving the Chandler Tower. So it is chloramine based, and the residual lasts longer. It's a great water source. Now, with that being said, it is chloramine based. Our water that's leaving the Holland plant is using free chlorine two different types of disinfectant process to keep so growth doesn't occur into the pipelines. We don't mix those water sources. We don't mix free chlorine with chlorine. If they do, and they come into a tank, not so much into the pipeline, but into a storage reservoir like a tank, that is not good to mix. So we keep them, those two sources are isolated. Okay?
Thank you.
Yeah, no, great questions. So, shooting from the hip on the audit, like I said, it was very good. The auditors, Abdo, Ike, and Myers, rendered our opinion as an unmodified or a fair and clean opinion for 2019. The net position, the total assets for Lincoln Pipestone as of the end of the year totaled $95,003,151. This is a 2% decrease over the prior year. The total liabilities ending last year were $39,527,161. That was a 6% decrease over 2018. Lincoln Pipestone has $8,052,891 in unrestricted accounts that can be used for operating obligations and rate stabilization. New, which you don't see because you don't have in front of you, new to our audit is a new line item called deferred outflows and inflows. So that is what my auditors have told me is para. So for the longest time, our employees have not been on para, but our auditor said, no, you're a public entity, you need to all be on para. So at the dismay of the opinions of our employees, we're all on it, and it's still up for discussion, but I think it's okay. So that's listed on our audit. The total net position as of the end of the year for Lincoln Pipestone was $56,069,742. That's an increase of over 1.1 million or 2% from 2018. The revenue that Lincoln Pipestone generated in 2019 was $8,995,549. That's an increase of just under $500,000 or about 5.6%. The total operating expenses for Lincoln Pipestone last year was $7,887,508. That's a decrease of $127,659 or roughly 1.6%. I always remind every county every year that we fund depreciation, and any money coming from grants and hookups are considered equity, so not necessarily operating income. The capital assets for last year totaled $67,652,391. That's including depreciation. Those that are not, when you factor out depreciation, it's $113,049,443. That was a net increase of 1.8 million, and it's all based on capital improvement projects that we've had for the year. So the depreciation factor on all our assets totaled $3,059,108. The outstanding debt, so we had a bond with Pipestone County for our construction. We paid that off. We're now operating on the remaining of it with rural development. So now we're paying on that bond with that. And if you recall, our board chose to, I think it was 3 years, to make increases to the base. And this is something unique that we haven't done in the past up until this project is those increases to the base are now dedicating to that bond that we have with Pipestone County. So that's a very happy thought for rural development that we can do that. So the revenue bonds outstanding as of the end of the year was $37,305,119. The total indebtedness decreased $3,535,881, so that it decreased nearly 8.7%. in 2019. And that's because we did some refinancing of some bonds that came up, Nobles County being one of them. And we had some that matured, so we're no longer paying on it. So in my time, this is the first time that we've gotten under $40 million in debt, which is awesome. I don't know how long that'll last now with all our projects, but I'll take that victory for now. And because we spent over $750,000 with the feds on rural development, in the audit, back on almost toward the end on page 52, shows the proceeds received for that. In 2019, we received $4,011,247 from the feds for work on projects. So there you go, 55 pages of our audit in a nutshell, shooting from the hip. Do you have any questions on that?
Okay, I don't know, anybody got anything? Anybody, Dan or Chris, anybody have any questions?
They're all the same.
Doesn't sound like it.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, well, thank you very much. If you have any questions, give me a holler.
Sure. Okay. We don't have anything until 10 o'clock. Tyler's not here. Wayne,
You want me to see if Wayne's available?
if Wayne's available, we could talk about that in a minute.
He'll be in 1 minute.
Okay. Here we have our building and grounds supervisor, Mr. Wayne Drew. It's a report on,
Big crowd. Okay, I just got a bid from Legacy for $2,400 to clean up the bat mess up in the attic. And, I don't know what to do with it otherwise, but, and they're coming along pretty good. They got, most of the system up there in the attic's clean. And they got this whole side over here is done.
say that it's been worthwhile. Are they getting a lot of junk out of our ventilation system and
Yeah.
so forth?
Yes. They said they haven't got any creatures, but, that I know of, but
No, it doesn't hurt to clean it up. It's air everybody breathes in the building here, so.
I haven't seen Natasha, because when she worked upstairs, she said that she'd get stuffy when she come here. Hopefully that's better now, too. Now that we got clean.
Will we have to replace some of this insulation?
We'll find out, I guess. Yeah, I know.
To my knowledge, it should come out of there and get replaced with something that we know is clean, if we don't have a bat problem.
Yeah. We do get one once in a while in there. It's not as bad as what it was.
So,
Wayne, this is, when we do the roofing later on, can we have them kind of keep an eye out for any cracks and so forth where bats might still be getting in?
Yes. Yes, well, I'll mention that to them. They're supposed to start here in August, what it sounded.
Yeah. Do we think that we've got a fair number still getting in, or have we pretty well choked down there?
I'd say average maybe a couple of months.
It's still a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, and some,
Is it-
you know, you can get 2 1 month, next month you might not get any, but we do get a few yet.
Yeah. For those that still are able to get in, is it permissible to have live traps in there for the bats? I know we probably can't
We got,
destroy them because
we
that's
got,
it.
we got sticky paper up there
Okay.
that they land on.
they're glue traps, aren't they? They're little trays that have sticky stuff on them. And then-
Yeah, once they land on, they don't get
Yeah,
off.
that's about all you can do. It's better than trying to bait them and bring them in.
Yeah.
If they-
Right. And some of them been down, you know, in the main part of the courthouse, so, you know, maybe they're sliding through underneath their door or something too, and not coming through the attic. We don't know yet, so. Some of the ones that we're catching been on the main floor. We're not catching them all in the attic.
So this has already been approved, we're just looking for the $2,400 to help clean up
Yeah.
before they can continue,
Yes.
so.
It's gotta be done.
Mr. Chair, I'll make the motion that we approve the $2,400 expenditure to clean up bat feces.
You said 2,400, correct, Dan?
Correct.
Okay, okay.
Second.
Second, any other discussion? Okay, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed?
And for information, I don't know if you guys knew this or not, but they want to start thinking about doing a drive-through testing area in the fairgrounds.
Oh,
When is that gonna
They
be?
just called me when I was getting the mail. Pete called me.
medical center gonna do that, or
Yeah,
something?
Pete just
Okay.
called me and they're gonna go, they want to look at the show arena, but I told him, I said, there's wood chips in there. I suppose I could push them all to one side, but they want to be able to drive through a building.
Would,
That'd be, drive in and straight shot out.
Yeah, and you do have a little office area there too.
Right.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with it.
no, I don't see any problem. If they
Well, I just thought I'd bring it up quick, because,
When are they thinking of doing that?
Huh?
When are they going to?
They're thinking about doing it, and they want to use the building out the fairgrounds,
Sure.
and that's why I thought, as soon as I heard, I'd give you guys the information quick.
Yeah, I wouldn't see a problem in doing that if they want to use it.
Just do
for
what you gotta do, I guess. You can push the stuff to the side.
I can.
Make
Who
it
knows,
work.
they might not have an achievement day
Yeah.
yet.
Yeah. Just leave that up. to
Wayne,
you.
this is Steve. I can't hear very well what's going on. Is this for the Farm Bureau
No.
drive-through meal?
No, this is for the hospital, for testing COVID-19 patients. They want to do a drive-through testing,
Oh, okay.
and they're going to go out and look at it. I'm going to meet them out there at 1 o'clock. They want to look at the facility and just see if it work.
Okay, got it.
Keeps them away from.
Wayne, this is Chris. The current setup they have right now isn't working well for the PCMC staff. And so they're having everyone drive through the Ashton lot right now, but the staff has to be out there fully gowned in the heat. And a lot of the staff is experiencing like heat distress and stuff like that. So I think this would be a lot better option.
Yeah, you wouldn't have them going in the building then, too. Some of them have.
Yep, exactly.
Yep, yep.
Yeah, it sounds like a good plan. If it works, you can work that out with them, and I don't think we need any
Drive right
formal
through the
motion or
building,
anything on
open it
that,
up.
so
Yeah, yep, they can, it'd be open, so.
I would assume we wouldn't charge them for any use of the building or anything, so it would just be a
I
matter.
don't think we should, but
No, I don't think so either.
it's up to you guys, so.
No, we need it to get done.
Donate it.
Well, yeah, it needs to be done.
Sounds good.
That'd be open to anyone that wants to.
What,
They'll no doubt advertise it or let people know what's going on there, but.
Wonder if they got the new test running at the hospital now.
I hope so.
Yeah, they have to have that all scheduled through the hospital ahead of time. You can't just walk up and get a test.
Okay.
Right, currently, you mean?
Right. And I don't think moving forward they're going to want just anybody walking up. They have to be scheduled.
they'll be driving through, but,
But even for this one at the fairgrounds, you'd schedule it, but anyone would be allowed to, as long as they scheduled it.
I don't know, that's something the medical center'd have to work out, I don't know.
Right.
that'd be theirs.
I'm sure we'll
Wayne,
have
do you know, is this community testing or just PCMC testing?
I don't know yet.
I think it's just PCMC.
You don't know yet?
No, because I haven't, Pete just called and asked, they want to look at the building, so I have not heard
Okay.
for sure what it is.
Okay. I know if it's community testing and they do it like they did it in Marshall, they did it at the old ACMC clinic out by the mall, and they had 4 different lines of traffic coming through and tents set up and people outside directing where they're going. So like I said, we'll find out more as we go along, I think.
Right.
But I'm just sure if this is community testing or if it's just going to be testing for the hospital like Chris is mentioning. I don't.
Yeah, because they could only have a single line going through that building.
Sure, it's just for the hospital. You'll know more at 1 o'clock.
Okay,
There you go. Okay.
Yep.
okay, any other questions for Wayne?
Yeah, I've got a question for Wayne yet too. Do we still have some of those big barn fans If so, that might be helpful just to keep air circulating through there for
There's-
them. I didn't know if we owned those.
There's 6 fans in that show arena that can
Yeah,
move
that might
air.
help
That can move
move
air.
the air a little bit.
Yep.
Well, I think we'll just let Wayne handle that, whatever's necessary for whatever they need, and you can work that out with them, what you think? Okay.
Mr. Chairman, as long as Wayne is still there, I did get a call from Skip 2 days ago regarding the fairgrounds food truck. Remember that? We talked about
Yes.
that. The board authorized that.
Yes.
That is going to be a walk-up and takeout, and the only thing they're going to be using again is some water and some power. And the dates are scheduled for setup on July 30th, and they will be providing the fair food on July 31st and August 1st. And they're going to be on, excuse me. Say hi. George says hi.
They can't see you, Steve. He held up his cat.
No.
So again, they're going to do it, Skips are going to do it in the area south of the blue building is where they're talking about doing it. So again, it'll be a drive-through, walk-through. There'll be no tables there, no eating on premise. If you want to go get your funnel cake or your cotton candy or whatever you need, you can go do it that weekend. So it's a go, and a matter of fact, this organization that's doing it is going all over the state, and before they come here, they're coming directly from Laverne, so they're doing it down there just before they come to visit us. So if you need a fair fix, it'll be set up on the 30th and food on the 31st and 1st. Times to be determined, they're responsible for their own advertising.
Okay. Anything else for Wayne? Any other questions for Wayne?
I know that drive-through is still a go yet. We're still planning that. That's the 23rd of July.
And the Water Tower Festival event is still the 15th,
Still going too yet.
and they're not going to be on the courthouse grounds, is that correct? As far as we know?
I have heard nothing.
Okay,
That's correct.
okay.
What's the deal on the 23rd?
It's a drive-through supper. Either you get a burger, chips, and you'll get a vanilla malt and either water or milk. And then you can get a pork sandwich, chips or stuff too. Where malts, we're just doing vanilla period, and they can pump them out faster.
Okay.
He says they can do 700 an hour.
Okay.
But it's, then we're gonna be, the cattleman's gonna be grilling the burgers, and then pork producers will be doing the pork loins.
Okay.
And it's just, it'll end up being a free roll offering, but they don't want to advertise it that way, but it will be a free roll offering, and whatever they get for money will be going to 4-H. Kind of reimburse them for what they're not going to get from the food stand this year.
Okay, thanks, Wayne. Yep. Good luck with the bats. Do you go up there occasionally and look
Yeah.
things over and
Yep.
check the traps, and
Yep. Yeah, we do.
you put plenty of those sticky things out just to kind of
There's 2 places that they
like to go?
try to go to get out, and that's when we catch them.
Kind of know where to put them, that would be helpful
Yeah.
to.
Yep. Okay,
All right, thank you.
yep.
The next thing we would have would be Renee. Oh, sounds like she's here. We're just ready for you if you're ready.
I'm ready.
Okay.
So today I am here to get a certified county board resolution for me to perform my grant operations.
Okay.
We've successfully closed out the grant, and so now we're ready to apply for our next one.
So, do you have to explain to us what it's for, or do you want us to just
Sure, here I have.
give us a little background on it?
Yeah. So what I'm providing to you right now is the proposed budget expenditures report and my work plan. My goal is to ramp up advertising. My goal is to get every veteran in Pipestone County to come see me. Or at least give me a phone call so I can review their file, see what we can do for them or what benefits might be available to them, whether it be now or in the future. So I'd like to spend a little bit more in advertising to help get veterans to know that my office exists, get them in the office, and be able to talk to them and their families. I also want to use some of the grant funds for my software that I use to maintain smooth workflow and keeping things separate for each veteran, as well as for the veterans' transportation to the VA hospital, which has been a very successful program that we have done, so. And traveling for conferences when they resume, of course.
Okay.
How many typically do you deal with now that know where you're at already?
For the rides,
No, just for, in general, like how many customers come through?
I roughly look at around 600 charts for people who have come in or families that I've reached out to for a veteran who has passed away. That's a rough estimate.
And is there any way to know how many potentially are out there? Or not really, or they don't provide that information?
If they provide that information, I do not know where to access it this time, but I can find out if there's a way that I can find out. I will contact some of my CVSO peers and see if they know of a place. Again, those numbers are guesstimates, but I have been pretty busy with veterans, more busy before COVID, of course, but I've seen quite a few. And the veterans rides, we've done quite a few of those. We typically have about 5 to 8 veterans that use it routinely.
You know, I've sure heard good comments from those that have interacted with you.
Good, good.
So we need a motion to approve.
So moved.
Ed, second.
Okay, we have a motion by Les and a second by Luke. Any other discussion? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? I think it was unanimous. It sounds like everybody voted there. Okay, that's all we have today then for you, Renee. Do we need to sign something for you while we're here?
We have to get Steve's signature later.
Okay. And what day it is, Les?
I need 2 copies of that.
14th?
I've got to take mine.
You want to give that to Steve then when he comes in?
Yeah, I
to
need
sign?
2 copies. Can you
Oh,
sign
okay.
2?
Oh, here's another one.
And then Steve said he would sign it next week. Is that okay? Yep.
Here.
Thanks.
Here's a second one, if you need the second one first.
You want to sign the other one?
I did.
Oh,
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Renee.
Thank you.
We have Tyler at possibly 10:15 and then 10:30 a bid opening. You want to take a
10-minute.
10-minute break? Okay. Sounds good. We'll be back in 10 minutes,
Maybe.
maybe. In before the 10:30 bid opening, if that's okay, we'll resume our meeting. Okay.
Morning, everybody. All right, so I am here to present the tax penalty abatement request from a Lori Heilman, or Heilman, I'm not exactly sure how to say her last name. It's for Helen Gore's property, 2 parcels, 0400800500 and 0400500910. I don't know if you guys had a chance to look at the email that was sent. She does essentially say that she had the check made out for the 15th, but it didn't get postmarked until the 16th, and we didn't get it posted until the 21st because of the mail. That's how long the mail takes. Again, I know we've had other requests like this in the past. I personally feel it's very clear in statute that it says if it's not postmarked by the due date, that penalty is applied. That's my stance. I understand the confusion. I know there's been a lot of dates changing this year with coronavirus, but I just feel that personally, to be fair and equitable to all other taxpayers in the county, that I would not recommend approving the penalty abatement. But again, that's just my 2 cents, so I'll let you guys kind of take over, or you can ask any questions if you have any.
Okay, does anybody have any comments or questions for Tyler or regarding the? There are some.
Could you repeat part of that for me, Tyler? I didn't quite follow the discussion.
As far as the request, or what type, like, the check was made out for the 15th, but it did not get postmarked by the post office until the 16th. And then obviously with how long the post office takes, we didn't actually get it posted until the 21st of May. So it's very clear in statute that if it's not postmarked by the 15th, the due date in law, that penalty is applied. I personally feel that this should not be abated because we have 7,600 other parcels in the county that we have to look out for to make sure we're being equitable to everybody else.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
And Mr. Chairman and Board, just want you to know, if you look at the email, that my first notice of this that I got was on July 8th, and apparently this started way back on May 27th, and I did not receive anything until then, so that's why it was not on any earlier agendas, and the taxpayer was quite incensed that I did not get back to her as quickly as she did, but as she would have liked, but I didn't get any information again until July 8th, so I can't obviously respond to something I didn't have. And I don't know if Tyler, did you get anything before that or not? I don't know.
She called and discussed me once she received the late letter, and I told her options, and that was the last thing I heard from her. So, and that was right around, we would have sent that out that following week. So, but like, she has paid, we posted the actual penalty payment on the 30th, so there's nothing owed currently besides the second half taxes on these parcels.
So she has paid the penalty?
She has paid the penalty, yep.
I guess I can understand the confusion and the postmark and all that, but nevertheless, it is, if you go by the letter of the law, that's what we've done, but I don't know.
And I don't think you want to start making exceptions for some and not others. Do we really, we don't really need to take any action, do we?
No, I mean, just, if anything, just kind of let me know what you want. If you don't want to approve it, just let me know, and I'll reach out to her, letting her know that the board chose not to move forward with the abatement. There isn't actually any formal action. I just need some direction from you guys of what you want to do, so.
How about you guys on the phone? Do you have any feelings about this, Dan or Chris?
No, I'm fine going along with Tyler's recommendation. I certainly respect that.
And I feel the same way too.
I guess I understand this lady's frustration about it, but nevertheless, it is the law, and that's all. We don't make those laws. We just have to live with them.
Abide by them, so.
The dates don't change from year to year. They're the same.
No, exactly. And we, like I said, we make it very known. They're all over the property tax statements. We publish reminders in the paper. Property tax due dates are online. So, I mean, we make it very well known when the taxes are due. And like you said, they haven't changed for a very, very large number of years. So,
I guess if that's what you're recommending, and we have no objections, we'll just.
Okay, just move forward. And I'll just let Lori know that it was decided to not move forward with it. So, all right.
Yeah, we have to be fair to everybody too. We can't pick and choose.
Exactly.
In a few years, we'll have 100 of them to do.
That's my stance on it. It's a very slippery slope. If you do it for one, you got to do it for everybody. So, all
Okay, thank you, Tyler.
Thank you.
For anything else from personnel? We've got a few minutes before the bid opening. Kathy, anything to bring up, or?
I do not have any personnel.
Okay. COVID-19 information, anything there?
Steve, did you want to go over any COVID-19 information?
Sure. The really only big thing that's going on is that obviously you're all aware that I'm battling the COVID-19 myself right now. And Pipestone County has moved into an area where the testing is, in talking to Dr. Anderson about it, we're moving into an area where 20 to 25% of cases that are coming back positive. And the numbers they would really like to see are like 5%. So just to let you know, just the day I was tested on July 2nd, I was one of 22 people in line to get tested at the same time, and those numbers have been pretty steady throughout the whole time. And now as we're hearing from Wayne that the hospital wants to step up testing again. So there is something going on in Pipestone County, and where it's coming from, don't exactly know. Maybe it's nursing homes, maybe it's community spread, maybe it's a combination thereof. But so the biggest thing that we're doing is we're seeing more of this spread, so we're seeing more activity with it. So Kathy got together with me via email last week and got hold of the department heads, and we decided to roll back the door opening to appointments only with the doors locked again for at least 2 weeks to see if that helps at all. So we're back to closed doors at the courthouse and county offices to try to keep that spread down. Really need to highly recommend wearing masks when you're out in public just to protect yourself, because apparently that's a lot of the spread is happening that way from what I've been hearing. So that's the biggest thing that I wanted to just bring up, is that we're getting more testing done in Pipestone. So also they're getting more positive testing, and the rates that they're coming back positive are greater than they'd really like them to be. So even out at Good Sam, there have been a number of deaths out there, and staff and residents alike have been turning up positive as well. So for some reason, we've been picking this up in the last 2 weeks or so. Why it's happening, don't know yet for sure. I don't know if people are letting their guard down, they're traveling more, that type of thing. If it's visiting restaurants and places like that and not taking precautions, I don't know. But it's happening, and we're seeing the results of what's going on around the state. I see that the governor did extend his executive powers for another 30 days, and the government state is back in session right now. I see that they went back in session yesterday, so we'll see if anything develops out of that at this point. So I haven't seen anything today or yesterday on any changes or rollback of our phase 3 areas where we're at. If they're looking at bringing those back or not, I have not heard anything on that yet on it. So that's a little bit what I have on it, what I know from where I'm at right now anyway.
Okay. Anything else? Personnel, you didn't have anything, right? Okay. We do have an email from Brad that would like to give him a call.
He wants a quick word with us after,
Okay.
when we're done.
Okay, after the meeting. Okay, it doesn't have to be done in the meeting then. Okay, we can call him after we adjourn.
Well, he wants to come before we leave.
Okay.
So
You want to just tell him to,
11 o'clock.
sure, that's fine.
I'll text
That, whatever works for him, if that's okay. Okay. Thank you, Steve, for your report. Hopefully you're feeling better, and hopefully you're making progress there.
No, I'm getting a little better every day. But my taste of smell and taste have come back a little bit, but nothing smells or tastes good, let's put it that way. But My fever's been down, so that's a good thing. And it did come back up last night to 99.8, but this morning it was like 98.1, so it's bouncing around a little bit.
Okay.
There are some more items if you want to take care of them, unless you got somebody coming in on the back page of the agenda.
We need to approve a JPA for counties providing technology.
Yes, we have that, and also the lease for the driver vehicle services testing at the Highway Department property. That's in your packet. It says State of Minnesota Amendment of Lease, Amendment Number 3 for PS 0221.
Right.
And that's an agreement where Vehicle Services uses a section out at the Highway Department for motorcycle testing is what they're doing with that. Now, they're obviously doing no testing in Pipestone County whatsoever right now. So this, I guess, is in plan. They wanted to extend it. They also extended the use of the community room as well so that they could use that. We approved that last month. But this agreement would take over for 5 years on September 1st of this year and run through August 31st of 2025. So again, this is for 30 feet by 75 feet of space at our highway department for them to do their motorcycle testing is what they do with that out there, I believe anyway. So I guess I would recommend that the board approve that lease and authorize Chairman Coiman and myself to sign that agreement and send it back to him.
Okay, we should
Mr. Chair, I'll move that we approve that lease, extend the lease.
Okay, Dan made a motion
Chris.
to approve and Chris seconded it. Any other discussion?
There's one question.
Okay, Luke?
Is there any rent involved? It mentions the rental rate, but it doesn't say what it is.
In looking at this, it doesn't appear that they're paying any rent for that because they're doing nothing more than they paint some lines on the parking lot and use it occasionally on a Tuesday or on a Thursday, the way I understand it.
Okay.
So we are getting rent for the community room when they do the actual driver's testing back again here. They are paying us for that.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any other questions, comments? Okay, all in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, okay. Motion's approved.
Thank you for that. And then
We also
the
have,
other one we have there is the CPT Joint Powers Agreement.
right, that's on the back.
Should have two copies of it. One is the revised 2020, and the other one has the markups in it. And they're just they did a lot of cleanup if you looked through that. Different jobs for the executive directors as you page through it. So the revised article is in there for 2020. I would recommend that the board approve this and authorize the chairman of the board and myself to sign that. Also have county attorney approve it and sign as to form and execution. And we'll send it back to CPT for their signature as well, and then we'll be set up again.
Okay, so we
I
need
don't
to
know if you have anything more to add to that as you're representing us on it. Anything?
Just move for approval. Like you said, there's just a lot of language cleanup, and especially with the job duties and stuff.
Right.
have a motion
And
we have a motion by Chris to approve
Second.
and Les seconded. Any other discussion? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Okay, the motion passes. I think that does it, except for our bid opening. Anybody else have anything to, other than our committee reports and Brad coming in later?
Update on the CARES Act. It's listed as a,
Coronavirus.
Yeah, I
relief.
give a little report on what's going on with the CARES Act. I think that we need to actually sit down at some point and really go through what we want to do on this CARES Act money, because we're going to be receiving over $1 billion of dollars through this to us. And I want to do it right. I want to make sure that we use the money properly, obviously, and I want to make sure it gets out to our local units of government, our townships and our cities that aren't getting their own, so we're covering them. And also that we somehow work this out to get funds out to possibly businesses, as they're the ones who were suffering the most on this, I think. And in talking to, last week, I had a little conference call with the other counties in our southwest region. And Rock County got about a $1.1 million out of this thing. And what they decided to do is what they're working on right now is they're going to utilize $500,000 to businesses in the small cities to give $5,000 grants to approximately 350 businesses to help with COVID. And I do have their documentation, what they're asking, their applications, what they're asking. They're also doing $120,000 to the local fire departments to purchase Lucas CPR devices, which we've already got those in the county as well. They're earmarking $100,000 to Southwest Health and Human Services. They're utilizing some of the funds in their school districts where they have 3 of them. They had a lot of damaged Chromebooks that they used down there, and those were not reimbursable through any other organization, and they used them for distance learning. So they were going to utilize some dollars for replacing 200 or so damaged Chromebooks that came back. There's also going to be working with some nonprofits through Southwest Mental Health and working on those to see if they needed anything. Some of them they're obviously going to pay themselves for their COVID expenses, which I think we would want to do too. Rock County said they had about $30,000 in expenses. I think we're in the same range, maybe a little more than that, because we did a lot of our barriers and that type of thing. They decided that they were just going to send out the money to the townships and small cities that didn't receive any money directly from the federal government. So we're getting enough money that's actually paying the townships and cities that have less than 200 people in them. Right now what we're getting is the cities are getting $75.34 a piece, or per capita, I should say, and townships are getting about $25 per capita. So the cities of Edgerton, they're receiving their own money. They're going to get approximately $84,500. And City of Pipestone is going to get $312,662. City of Ruthven's going to get $15,972. And City of Jasper is getting $44,429. So that leaves like the City of Hatfield, they're getting $0 directly. So we had extra dollars allocated to us so that we could give those dollars out to. So that would be the City of Hatfield, the City of Holland, the City of Island, the City of Trotsky, and the City of Woodstock would all receive monies out of our pot for that as well. So I don't have any full ideas today on this, so what I'd like to do is get the whole board together and talk about it and work kind of a work session at our next meeting later this month so we can go through this. And you guys may have ideas what you want to do with this money to help our townships and cities and what we want to do. I mean, the idea of this money is to get out there and put the money to use, whether it's for businesses that suffered during the COVID, lost business, that type of thing. That's a good use for it. Obviously, there are expenses we've got that we can pay ourselves back on. Health and Human Services, I know will have expenses that they'll need some money on. We have school districts that need help. So there's just quite a myriad of areas where we could possibly use this money, and I think we really need to get together with these organizations and see what they have got going on it. We basically have 3 school districts. We've got Pipestone, Edgerton, and RTR. Possibly the healthcare might need some help. PCMC, the hospital and clinic, and Sanford Clinic in Edgerton. Again, we have Southwest Health and Human Services. We have our public entities where we're funding ourselves, and cities under 200 and townships under 200 people. Pipestone Chamber of Commerce can possibly help us. Possibly the banks, maybe SRDC. to figure out how we can dole this money out and do it. This money is all covered under the federal Single Audit Act, which means it'll have to be audited. So obviously the Auditor Treasurer's Office will be involved in this as well. But again, that's just kind of an overview of what's going on with it. I haven't talked to Tyler. I don't know if we received our check yet or not.
We did,
But-
we did last week.
Did you catch that, Steve? We did last week, Tyler said.
It did come in last week?
Yep.
Okay, good. So the money is here, and we have basically through this fall and November and December to get this thing taken care of to what we want to do with it. So I guess at this time, I'd encourage all the board members to, think of what we want to do, how we want to utilize this money to hopefully better our county and do a good job of that, and see what you think about it.
Okay, thanks, Steve. We'll get together and work on that at some point. We do have a
Yeah, I think we
10:30.
should put it on the agenda for a work session at our next meeting on the fourth Tuesday on the 28th would be my recommendation, to get this on the agenda where we can
Okay.
really hopefully start drilling into this thing. And I'll bring more paper, more information on it, what we can use it for, what we can't use it for. AMC, I was looking through my emails. They're supposedly doing, I think, another webinar on this tomorrow, I believe. But I haven't been able to find it anywhere, and I will certainly send it to you guys. You're more than welcome to join in on any AMC thing. They've really been taking the lead to try to help all the different counties on this. And there's a lot of counties, we're all in the same boat on this. Just depends on how they're going to use work that they're going to use it for. Some are paying themselves, some are not. They're sending it out to the public. It's just lots of different ways to do this. And there are certain things we can do, obviously, and can't do as well. But I'll try to find that and send it out.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, we
Thank
do
you.
have, yep, thank you. We do have a 10:30 bid opening, so we'll go forward with that. Nick, if you've got your stuff organized there.
So this is the bid opening for our third set of box culverts for the year. Jared here was actually able to find some special bonding money for us, as long as we had some other projects that
Okay.
could go with it, so we lucked out there, so. So with that, it's projects, project number is SAP 059-618-036. That is a posted bridge on County Road 18, about a mile and a half south of Highway 30. That's a major route to Edgerton, and this is a major impact to that route, so this will be fantastic to get that one taken care of. Next project is SAP 059-599-098. That is for Osborne Township, just straight north of Edgerton, a couple miles. And the last one is SAP 059-599-109, and that's a few miles northeast of Edgerton. That being said, looks like we have 5 bids today. First bid is from ANC Excavating out of Marshall. ANC's bid, $763,453.60. $763,453.60. Next bid. Can I see that back? Backside. Okay, thank you. Next bid is from Central Specialties Incorporated out of Alexandria, Minnesota. And as a side note, I will add that they're the ones doing our grading work right now, so they're in the area. Okay, the bid from Central Specialties, $980,875.60. $980,875.60. Third bid is of Midwest Contracting out of Marshall. The bid from Midwest. $597,250.60. $597,250.60. Fourth bid is from Riley Brothers Construction out of Morris. The bid for Riley Brothers, $630,876.60. $630,876.60.
They're all consistent on 60
I
cents.
see that. I've never seen anything like that before.
One to go. See if-
One to go, see if they can mess up our pattern here. The last bid is of RNG Construction out of Marshall. RNG's bid is $631,526.20. $631,526.20. So we are going to run these back, check prices really quick. I spoke with Domain last week. He said he couldn't be here today, but he said that we could, if prices check out, we could award contingent on his approval after he reviews it. So if these check out, that's what I would recommend doing today so we can get them ordered.
What was the engineer's estimate?
Oh, sorry. $756,777.30. $756,777.30.
Okay, you want to come back and
Yes.
still approve this today?
Yeah.
We'll be here till at least 11 anyways with Brad Burris coming in, so.
Oh, okay. Sounds good. If he's on at 11, hopefully when
Well,
he's
he
done.
might be here sooner than that,
Oh,
but if you
okay.
get things figured out, just come back and
Yep.
let us know.
I'm gonna stick around and they'll call me as soon as they get them checked, so.
Thank you. Okay, we'll take a break until
Right.
further notice.
Unless you want to do reports.
Oh, yeah, we can do that if you want to. Start on that. Luke, you have something to report? We'll start with you.
On the 10th, the ditch committee met with the Pipestone Monument staff regarding the ditch cleanout. On the 11th, the Soil and Water District met, and I also attended the Burke Township Board regarding the DNR trail issue. Of course, on the 15th, we had the Board of Equalization. On the 16th, the Minnesota Transportation Alliance had a webinar with Congressman Angie Craig discussing pending transportation legislation. On the 19th, the AMC Board met, pretty routine business. Of course, they were hoping the legislature would do something during this next special session, but after hearing that they extended the governor's powers today, it's unlikely that much will get done again. 23rd, of course, the hospital board met. On the 30th, at an MHA training, discussing various challenges facing hospitals moving forward from the pandemic. On the 2nd, Area 2 and RCRCA met. That was our first in-person meeting since all this began. We did let the dewatering area project for that Lake Redwood dredging project. The low bid was under $1 million. The engineer's estimate was $1.8 million, and the high bid was $2.8 million. I thought it was a pretty big spread for the same project. On the 8th, the Transportation Alliance had a webinar with Congressman Pete Stauber and Representative Dean Erdahl. Congressman Stauber really talked a lot about how upset he was with all the politics involved in trying to get anything accomplished. He mentioned that of the $1.5 trillion transportation bill that's being proposed in the House, 40% of it was for the Green New Deal or whatever versus what we think of as standard projects, which is probably why it's not going anywhere. And he also said he would have liked to have seen the governor distribute the CARES Act money, but that must have happened since we just got it. And then on the 9th, the Soil and Water District met again, and their request for this year is going to be down $20,000 just due to the hard times and whatnot. And then yesterday, NACO had their town hall and discussed their priorities, bylaws changes, and had a candidate forum for their second vice president. And that's all I have.
Okay. Les, you have some stuff there to...
Yeah, on the 6th, or the 4th, we had Prime West. The 5th, we had a hospital update for COVID. On the 8th, I had plant ops. 9th was a commissioners meeting. On the 10th, I had Southwest Mental Health. 11th, Soil and Water. Then on the 15th, I had Southwest PIC in Marshall. 17th, Southwest Health and Human Services. 23rd, we had commissioner meeting and hospital board. 24th, we had executive radio board, pretty much put in for all the grants that we're requesting for this year. And on the 30th, had personnel meeting. That was it.
Okay. I didn't have a lot this month. We had our normal board meetings. Plum Creek, on the 17th, we had a meeting with them. That was a Zoom meeting. BCMC was a Zoom meeting, of course. And we had 3 BCMC COVID update meetings on Fridays, so that's all I had for the month. But Chris, are you online? Can you tell us, give us your report?
Yes, I'm here. I'll recall the best I can. My notepad turned into an art project over the last few days. So on the 1st, I had a Lincoln Pipestone Safe Road Coalition meeting. Didn't have a whole lot to meet on because of the fairs and everything being down. Just routine talk there. Then we had our Friday Zoom updates with TCMC on the 5th and the 12th. And then we also had another one, I believe it was the 17th, I can't remember. But on the 10th, I had Southwestern Mental Health. 11th, I attended the Friends of the Casey Jones Trail Zoom meeting. We had CPT on Monday, the 22nd, hospital board meeting on the 23rd, extension committee meeting on the 29th, and personnel on the 30th.
Didn't we have truth and taxation on the 15th? In June?
Board of Equalization.
Equalization? Okay. Okay, thanks, Chris.
Thank you.
Dan, are you there?
Yes, I am, yep. Question too, you mentioned the truth and taxation. That's not a per diem meeting, I don't believe, is it?
No, it's just mileage, I think.
That's what I thought, okay. On the first, I had my Rural Minnesota Energy Board Zoom meeting. We were joined by the commissioner of the PUC. The main thing we're working on there is again, trying to get more transmission lines into our region for the wind and solar generation. Also later that day, we had a PACE meeting. There are still PACE funds available, and we're still working with businesses that qualify for it. Again, PACE is primarily for energy improvements, efficiency improvements in structures. On the 11th, then I had my Pipestone Area Coalition meeting then with the high school with Ms. Gustafson. We were scheduled to have a meeting with the Montana Institute this summer. It had been postponed from June until September. Now they've opted to go ahead and cancel it altogether for this year. So probably going to be rescheduled for next June. Also on the 11th, we had our Casey Jones meeting that Chris had mentioned. Chris, I think probably the only things we're really working on there, we've got a sign that we had made that we need to get picked up in the cities. But again, we're just kind of playing that by ear. Also working on trying to have a ribbon cutting for that new piece of trail section. But again, with COVID, trying to figure out when and how to do that. Been some discussion about maybe trying to do it remotely and tie it in maybe with a photo contest type thing, but that's just all tentative at this point. On the 12th, I had my Southwest Mental Health Consortium Zoom meeting. Nothing really new to report there, other than there has certainly been an increase in need for mental health professionals, and of course with the individuals out there dealing with a lot of stress right now, it's very important. On the 17th, Southwest Health and Human Services in Marshall, I'm the vice chair. Corey Sika is the chair, and he was out of town because of his work. So I had to actually go up to Marshall, be in person for that meeting. Not that specific to report from on that meeting. I don't know, Les, anything I'm missing off of that? It was a pretty straightforward meeting, I believe.
Correct.
Yeah. On the 15th, we had our SMOC meeting, Southwest Minnesota Opportunity Council. That was via Zoom as well, too. Lori Gunnick is our Head Start teacher. She's still working on her COVID plan to be able to be ready for the fall start of school again, get the little ones into the building for Head Start. We're scheduled to have our SMOC annual meeting. Oh, we had our election of officers as well, too, on that June 15th meeting. And Gene Metz is going to be taking over as chair. And then also Evan Schiller will be our secretary-treasurer. We're slated to have our annual meeting next Monday, and they were trying to have that in person. And they wanted to have a meal with it. Well, with the uptick in COVID and so forth, it was discussed by the executive group and decided it just wasn't prudent to do that at this time. So our annual meeting will be next Monday, but it again will be a Zoom meeting as well. Then again, on the 29th, we had a follow-up with our Rural Minnesota Energy Board, which is a continuation of our discussion about getting more transmission lines in here. Okay, that completes my report.
Okay, thanks, Dan. I don't think we have anything else to come in front for the board other than we're waiting for Brad Burris to come in and next bid.
Bruce, I do have one question for you.
Yeah,
Did
Luke.
I miss Joyce's request? I didn't catch that.
That was my
I
question.
must have missed.
Okay, Luke has got that here. See what he-
So I sent out a revised agenda last Thursday. She is not presenting today. She's presenting next
Okay.
board meeting on the 28th.
All right.
So,
Can
That
anybody
answers
tell
that.
me what these field cards are that need to be archived? What's a field card?
A record of an assessed property, I think.
Okay.
Okay, we'll have a 10-minute break until further notice. We think. We'll come back if we have news. Yes.
All right, we checked bids and there's one correction. It is on the RNG construction price. Their revised bid is $631,526.80. $631,526.80.
Why couldn't it have been 20 cents lower?
Or 40 higher, then we'd had all 60s, right? So, everything seems to be in order, so I would recommend awarding contingent on Domain's review.
Okay, anybody care to make a motion to that
So
effect?
moved.
Luke made the motion,
Less contracting.
Second.
and Les seconded it. Any other discussion? All in favor of approving, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed?
I
Okay, motion passes. It's going to Midwest Contracting.
All right. Any other questions for me? Otherwise, that's all I
I think
have.
so.
All right, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Nick.
Anything else to come before the board today?
Move to adjourn.
Luke made a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Les seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right.
Aye.
We're adjourned.
Thanks, guys.
Yep, thank you.
Have a good one.
Thanks, you guys. Have a good day. See you later.
Yep.
Keep getting better, Steve.
Will do. Thank you.